Well, Ashok Kumar from the Queen Mary University of London joins me now in the studio. Ashok, good to see you. That drain on police resources that Samira just mentioned, admittedly, they did prevent today's strikes from turning bloody, unlike those of June 14th. But how much of these strikes and protests themselves affected the flagging French economy, the very thing that these reform bills are aimed at boosting?
Well, I mean, if you look at the French economy right now, this quarter is expected to be, in terms of growth, half that of last quarter, and it's purely as an outgrowth of the strikes. But I would say that the strikes, that's a measure of the strikes' efficacy, right? Mm-hmm. So if strikes are preventing the economy or the normality to continue, that means that they're actually having an effect on the government. And that's the primary reason, really, that Hollande and his party Socialist actually has introduced a ban on strikes. But what we see is an escalation.
Well,
they tried to introduce a ban on strikes, but I'm saying what you see is an escalation of strike activity, an escalation in terms of the number of unions and sectors that have joined the strike, and in terms of strategy, tactics and demands.
Yeah, and of course, today's strikes coincided with this new report showing that the country's battered business section is once again shrinking.
Yeah, that's right. But it's also the question of the measures themselves, the labor law themselves, are meant to prevent not only more further unemployment growth, but rise in unemployment, but actually confront the unemployment levels. But I would say that there's very little evidence to support that claim. If you look at most advanced capitalist countries that have introduced similar reforms, you've actually seen either no change in unemployment or the opposite effect. Take Spain, for example. In 2012, they introduced a series of laws that mirror these laws. And actually, since then, you've seen unemployment figures hover between 21 and 22%, the same as it was before.
Well, that's interesting, because in order to get this bill through Parliament without a vote back in May, Prime Minister Manuel Valls, he had to significantly water down the bill that he'd wanted in the first place. So how effective do you really think this can be?
Well, I think that actually confronting unemployment has to happen. If you want to move away from a system of economic shock, systemic crisis, and mushrooming unemployment levels towards a system of workplace democracy and equitability, you need to introduce a program of expropriation at a colossal scale and redistribution of equal measure.
OK, Ashok, really interesting to hear your thoughts. Ashok Kumar there from Queen Mary University.
Thanks, Alice.